Hey, what's up? Thank you for joining us today. And how's it going, Ryan?
It's going well. How
Glad
about
you're
you?
here. Thanks for hanging.
Yeah.
Okay, I wanted to talk to you today because I'm going to get personal for a second.
Oh, I can't wait.
Is that okay?
This is going to be great.
I have a conflict that I think you can probably help me with. And I want to get your perspective on it. Because you're like a wise person. So just think through this. So I have a really good friend. We've been friends for a long time.
Yeah.
And I feel like we haven't been very good about bringing up conflict as it happens. Like we just kind of sweep it under the rug or like to try to not make things awkward. I know that's how I am. I'm like, I'm just not going to make it weird. I'm just going to let go and keep moving or whatever.
Yeah.
And now we've kind of gotten to a place where I feel like we have so much like, I guess, unresolved stuff that it's really hard to connect now. Like I feel like I can't, it feels like I'm on a minefield. Like, can I, and it's really lame because I want to be able to connect and like be besties with this person, but I feel like we're in a really weird spot. But it's like, we can't backtrack all these years of conflict, I feel like. So sorry for spilling all that on you. But thoughts on that? What am I doing? How can we like move past that and into like healthy relationship?
Yeah. Well, I think many of us have similar relationships where we've got some conflict with somebody.
Yeah.
We just never talked about it. We've never addressed what I would call the elephant in the room.
Right.
But I think there's something powerful about a couple things. One, making a decision about the kind of person you want to be. And so you cannot control the other person, but you can control your actions. And so I would encourage I would encourage all of us to consider this approach. Going to that person and saying, hey, we've been friends for a long time. We've been in a relationship for a long time. And I want to express my heart. I want to be in relationship with you for a long time. I want to be your friend for a long time.
Yeah.
And I want to be your real friend.
That's good.
I don't want to be your fake friend.
That's good.
I want to be your real friend. And there's a verse in scripture that I love, and it's wounds from a friend can be trusted. And what that means is it means that you and I can share tough statements, sentiments, things that are on my heart that, there's just some things that I feel like I really need to share that I would love your perspective on. There's a story in my head that I have that's been building for a long time. And I just realized I've never actually invited you into that. And so, and I could be wrong. I'd love to hear your perspective on some of these, whether they be incidents or things that have been said or things that have been inferred. I know a lot of people who have money is an inferred tension. It's I always pay.
Right.
Or
they never offer to pay.
Never offer to pay. Or there can be something there.
Yeah.
And living in North Dallas, there can be some things we don't talk about it.
Right.
But at the same time, it exists. And so I think being able to say what it is.
Yeah.
To be able to get these things out in the open. I'll never forget a friend of mine. He came to me, and we were both working at the same church at that time. And he said, hey, hey man, can we chat? I said, yeah. He said, I feel like I get political vibes from you.
Whoa.
And I was like, political vibes? What do you mean political vibes? And he said, not like American politics. He goes, I feel like church politics.
Oh, interesting.
He goes, I feel like you're gaming the system.
Whoa.
He said, I feel like you have an agenda to like take over.
Whoa.
And I said, man, I'm so glad you said that. That couldn't be further from the truth.
Yeah.
I do not want to be a senior pastor.
Right.
So let me just set the record straight. Let me give you my intentions. And so he saw me doing things, but ascribed an intention that I did not have. Oh, he's being nice to certain people for a reason.
Because XYZ. Like, yeah.
No, I'm actually nice to people. And for him, he's like, oh, I didn't.
Right.
I'd never seen that. I remember I like to live my life in terms of being very, very generous. And I remember, I don't know, like I bought dinner for like our whole worship team or something
cool.
like that. And the worship pastors were very weirded out by it. Who is this guy? What's he up to? What's his angle?
Yeah, what's the story? Yeah.
What's
yeah,
I'm like, angle? What are you talking about, angle? I don't have an angle. It's just like, I think we all should live this way.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, you don't have that much money. I'm like, but it's not about
Right.
how much money I have. It's about having a heart of generosity. And like, I think we're on the same team. And so I found myself having to explain myself more. But what I'm grateful for is that I had friends that gave me the opportunity
Totally.
to tell my story that I wouldn't have been able to see beforehand. And so I think that there is the approach in bringing that up is to be able to go, hey, here's what I actually think about you. Now, and it's funny, the person that brought up the thing about me being Politico is one of my best friends today. We talk every day.
Oh, that's awesome.
You know, we couldn't be any closer, but we had to inconsistently go, hey, I don't want anything to get weird here. And so, hey, let me make sure that some people need more communication than others. Some people want to talk every day, text every hour.
Right.
And it's like, dude, I'll have 4 or 5 days. You know, I was just telling you I'm headed to Switzerland.
Yeah.
It's just like my phone may not even work over.
Right.
I don't know.
Not messing with that.
And so some people like can really feel this abandonment when it comes to communication of like, you didn't text me back, or you think what I said was dumb.
Right.
Or it's just like, no, dude, I was on a stage. I was in a meeting.
Yeah.
I was with my kids. I was at their game. I was on a date with my wife. And so being able to calm the storm there, because again, I think all of us can get in our head. And so I think approaching those people by saying, hey, I'm going to make a decision. I'm going to do my best to play my part. Some people you're not going to get a resolution with, but I think when two people commit to saying, hey, I want to be a real friend.
Yeah.
I don't want to just be friends. I want to be your real friend for a very, very long time. And I want to create a line of open communication that allows us to be friends for a long time.
That's so good. Dang, thank you. That was really, really helpful.
Thank you.
I feel like it takes a lot of bravery to play your part in conflict, because it's very vulnerable. And it's much easier just to be like, nope, not me. Like, I'm fine. They're wrong. I'm going to wait for them to come to me. And I know for me, sometimes I treat my relationships like they're really fragile. Like I can't bring something up or admit that I might be wrong or whatever, because then like, what if the relationship falls apart? But relationships aren't really that fragile. Like healthy relationships, like you and your friend had an awkward, tricky conversation, but you're really close. And like that created more intimacy and friendship. So talk to me about that. Like, it seems like conflict, we avoid it, but it actually, if we do it well, it leads to more intimacy. True? I feel like that's true.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Some of my best friends, I have a couple of best friends that we used to be at odds with one another. That's awesome. Now we're best friends.
Oh, I love that. It's like a movie.
Yeah, there's something powerful about going through something together.
Yeah, true.
And then you realize you're having a deep and real conversation with somebody. Then you go talk to everybody else and you're like, oh, I went back to superficial. I went back to casual. I went back to... And so now it's about having intentional conversations where, I think at the end of the day, we have to posture our own hearts and make decisions about that. To say, all right, I can't let this person's behavior change who I want to be. And I want to be a good friend.
Right.
I want to be a good spouse. I want to be a good parent. So can I just do my part as best as I possibly can, and realizing I may get it wrong. I have plenty of friends that are trying to have race conversations. And they're like, whoa, not going to do it. Nope, right. I don't even want to go there. But I think I heard somebody say this. They started having a race conversation. This person was white talking to a black person, and the black person just railed on him, went off. But then that white person, he said, but I'm still here.
That's cool.
And I love you so much that I'm willing to sit here and be wrong so you can help me get it right.
Right.
Versus me avoiding the conversation and not even being in the room. And so there was just something powerful to me about that,
Totally.
of saying, no, I'm willing to get it wrong. I'm willing to be embarrassed. I'm willing to learn from you. And when you do that, it's like, and my white friend and that black, they're like best friends today.
It's cool.
Because they were willing to say, I will sit in this with you. I will be willing to tell you how I feel about you. And I'm also willing to take what you might be feeling about me and being able to recognize maybe the adjustments I need to make.
That's awesome. That's really helpful. Ryan, thank you for being such a like conflict master. I don't know if you knew that.
No, I
You're
wouldn't
kind of
call it
like
that.
kung fu, like conflict guide in my. So thank you for what you do and the wisdom you bring. If you had one final thought for us about just like one final way that we can maybe get a little bit better at conflict today, what would you say?
My favorite phrase is, I could be wrong.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, I could be wrong. If you just begin to leverage those words in conversation, you will be light years ahead, just
like
because we are so in love with our opinion and the other person can feel it. And it's hard to win when you do that. And so I think it's vitally important to be the kind of person that just says, hey, I could be wrong. And I've got a perspective that I am fully convinced of, but I don't want to be so in love with my opinion that I actually lose relationships.
Right.
And so, hey, I could be wrong. Tell me what you think.
So good.
Here's my perspective. I wonder what yours is. And I think you go from there.
Such a humble posture. That's awesome. Ryan, thanks for that. Hey, thanks for watching. If you want more, Ryan just preached a message on this whole topic. It's super good. We'll link it. If you're watching on YouTube, we'll link it in the description. Check that out if this was helpful to you, and we'll see you again next time.
Sounds good.